All right, this is the Rob Kendall Show. That's my name. Joined once again, thankfully, by the lovely and vivacious April D. Gregory. I am so glad you're back.
I'm glad to be back.
I never knew how much I needed you. Like about midway through last week, I realized I need April. Like I need you.
You can't function.
Yeah. No, I mean, I kind of knew I needed you, but like didn't know I needed you. Like there's a realization moment. I'm sure if you've ever done like therapy, like the moment where you get over whatever your deal is, where you probably see that light at the tunnel.
Okay.
This is not a you're totally creeped out at this point. I'm trying to have a moment here with you. This is not like Jerry Maguire where I'm going to say you complete me, not like one of those things.
Okay.
But you have become a vital part of my existence. Thank you.
Yeah.
Um,
It was kind of weird to be gone for a whole week without you.
yeah, it was. See, I love how I'm all open about it. Like, wow, April, you're so important to me. I really need you. And you're just like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, at some point I realized you weren't around.
I mean, I was on the beach.
You
so
were.
I was distracted.
Yeah, so, by the way, Troy and Lucas did a great job, but it just wasn't the same.
It wasn't?
It just was not. But I'm glad you're back. How was vacation?
It was lovely.
Tell us about vacation.
Well, I just laid on the beach for a few days.
That's all you did?
Pretty much.
That's it?
I played a little putt-putt.
I saw that. You missed the hole. The vine I saw.
Yeah.
You didn't put the ball in the hole.
No.
What happened?
Well, I was doing really good, and then, like the last 3 holes, I totally bombed. And I went from the lead to
Was it
last.
the clown's mouth that got you? Did you hit it? You couldn't get it through the clown's mouth?
Well, these were like pirates.
Oh, okay.
It was one of those.
Now, for the record, for those of you who are have not tuned into the Rob Kendall Show in a while, April did take a family vacation to, by the way, lift that mic up just a little bit, if you would do that for me. Thank you. That's
Anything
so much better.
For you.
April took a family vacation to where?
We went to Indian Rocks Beach.
And where is that?
It's like in between Clearwater and St. Pete in Florida.
And like every year, you do a family vacay.
Pretty much.
You, Josh, Josh's wife, nephew,
the whole shebang.
Baby bro, apparently baby bro's girlfriend, to which there has been some turmoil. Y'all go.
Yeah.
One big happy family.
Yep.
That actually sounds painful to me. Not that the people you're with would be painful, just the mechanism.
Well, yeah, because you're all just surrounded by each other for most of the day. Yeah.
And there is no, I'm going over here.
Right. Well, one day I did go out with my friends.
Oh, you have Florida friends.
I had a Florida friend and then a friend from Ohio who was visiting a Florida friend. So we all hung out one night.
Oh, great.
So that worked.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, you would rate the trip as, if I were to really pigeonhole you down on this one.
It was probably 7.
That's pretty good.
So, yeah.
I was definitely thinking you'd end up with like a 4 or a 5.
I don't know. It was all right. It wasn't my favorite one, but, what's to complain about? You're on the beach in the sun.
Yeah, and I loved, and we mentioned this, that would happen. Josh was intense tweeting from vacation.
Was he?
With exclamation points and...
About what?
I don't remember, but there were definitely uppercase tweets. It's like he hits the double capitalized thing on the iPhone and just lets it go to town.
He gets excited.
Here's the thing. My life is now being dictated by you. Because everybody that I hang out with now wants to talk about you.
I'm sorry.
That's it. Nobody wants to talk about me anymore. People I haven't seen in 6 months. People that shouldn't even know we're friends. How's April? How do you know about April? You guys would be great together. I like April a lot. How's April? I had a radio show host. This is how bad this is getting for our audience. I mean, like, there's a certain thing called, like putting your dues in, like going through the motions, like doing the stuff to be successful. I feel like you've just like leapfrogged me. Like you said, oh, it doesn't matter that you put 11 years into this. You just said 6 months. I'm over the top. Had a radio show host that I'm going to be going on their show, and all they wanted to talk about is, can we talk about your friendship with April? Sure, we can do that.
I feel like I need to give consent on this.
Well, I really feel like You are the star of this program, and I think we ought to just name it after you. I think I'm gonna just concede my microphone and just give you the
Does this mean I'll finally get my platinum microphone?
Yeah, or a golden microphone. But I know you want the Dana Lash.
I want
microphone.
the platinum one.
Yeah. I think you got to be.
Well, maybe we'll just start with gold for now.
I think you got to be on the terrestrial radio in order to have the platinum microphone because those.
I need something to work up to.
Yeah,
we'll just start with gold.
Well, the platinum microphone or the gold microphone typically hang from some sort of structure.
Yeah.
So, like, you would need to be in a
structure.
studio that has a structure.
I need a structure.
My kitchen is not content for. I don't think the landlord will let me hang a microphone from the ceiling.
I'm looking at the ceiling right now.
April is gazing up. Well, we could hook one up there. That wouldn't be an issue. I think you'd have to get like a zoning reclassification to be able to anchor large machinery from the ceiling. But you're a star. I mean, party like a rock star. That's you. You're huge. There are people who admire you that you don't even know. I don't even know how they knew you.
I try not to go out in public now without makeup on.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's like I thought we were friends. I didn't know you wanted to talk about my friend that you don't even know. But hey, it's like you've created a persona. You're like the Jenna Marbles of conservative politics. Congratulations for all you've done. And again, you can follow April on Twitter if you want to know more about April at April D. Gregory. I'm Rob M. Kendall. Speaking of Twitter, I had a Twitter moment yesterday. I am now in love with the Twitter.
It's about time.
To the point where if you check my Facebook, I've been actively seeking Twitter followers the past couple days, and they're lining up.
Good.
Had a moment. Can ask for some audience indulgence here as I talk about my moment, because they all sort of intertwine into about 3 or 4 things that I wanted to discuss today. So it's worlds colliding,
Full circle.
Yeah, absolutely. As many of you know, I have a new book out, Path Less Traveled. It is now out. You can purchase it if you
on the Amazon.
On the Amazon. You can actually head to the Amazon, the actual Amazon jungle, and purchase it. There'll be vendors there selling
Rob Kendall books.
Selling copies. If you just log on to Amazon.com, type in Path Less Traveled. There's 2 options. You can buy the paperback version, or you can buy the Kindle edition.
The Kindle on Kindle.
That's right. If you are an e-reader, you can purchase that too. So thank you in advance for contributing to my retirement.
Yeah.
Now, I did give away a large quantity of free books. So if I can just sell enough books to cover the cost of the free books I gave away, I'm going to be very happy.
Break even.
Well, here's the thing. The first book I did, I had enough printed and gave them all away, and it's like, whatever. Now with these, it's like everybody was asking for a free book, and I kept going, I think this person would buy it, so I don't want to really give it away.
And it's really not that expensive.
No, it's cheap. I think it's like $7 for the e-reader version.
Yeah.
My memories. It's like the garage sale of life. $7. And with the e-reader, if you're listening to this and you have an e-reader, you're obviously whatever it might be, a Nook or a tablet or a Kindle.
Well, you can Kindle on your iPad.
Yep, you can. The way that works is
Kindle on your iPad.
I feel like we're like QVC. I feel like we are becoming QVC.
We're QVC.
We're QVC. I feel like we literally just need the merchandise in our hands, telling people you're not spending money, you're investing it, and we could be QVC. And we need to have people call up and tell us how great the book was.
Well, so far, I'm just on chapter 1, but so far it's good.
You're riveted by my stories.
I endorse chapter 1 so far.
Thank you very much. I'm 3 pages into chapter 1, and I haven't quit reading.
And Jay Baker's foreword, that was good.
Yes, Jay. Here's the thing about Jay's foreword. Every time I do these books, you don't know what you're going to get until you get it. And so Munger did my first book. Dr. Munger, the former libertarian, he ran for governor of North Carolina, was the head of the political science department at Duke. He did the foreword. You send it to him, you say, hey, would you do the foreword for the first book? You're pretty certain you're going to get a scholarly masterpiece from Dr. M.
Right.
You're not worried. Got it back. It was great. Ask Jay, because Jay is sort of like a radio hero of mine. For those who don't know, Jay was a part of indie rock station Q95 for years. Was an integral writer and voice talent for the Bob and Tom Show for years. And Jay kind of helped me get started in radio. I talk a lot about that in the book. Asked Jay, said, Jay, would you be willing to do the foreword? Jay said, sure. You're kind of going, you don't know what you're going to get.
What are you going to
get with Jay? Because Jay has a mind of his own. and it is a mind unlike any other.
And I think that was evident in the foreword.
Yes,
It
there's
was great,
references to YMCA, Applebee's.
Right? My favorite was when he said, "You've done so much in such a short period of time, you're going to be the most bored person at the retirement home."
Yeah, so I got it, and it's like you read this and you go, this is really good in a Jay Baker way. You know, it's totally different than the first one. But yes, Jay did the forward, so if you're a fan of Jay, I'm sure there's more. You know, in both books, the person who did the forward was more talented than me. You know, it's a little disturbing. I've got to lower my standards for the next one. Anyway, so yes, you can log on to Amazon.com, Path Less Traveled, the name of the book, under my name, Rob Kendall, and read my memories. I'm trying to get April to work on a book, by the way. So we'll see. If you would like to have April write a book, Merlin Yoda, I'm looking in your direction.
Tweet her.
Yeah, let her know that you'd like to see April write a book. Anyway, in the book, there is a chapter. I don't want to ruin the book for you, but in the book, there is a chapter called Always Believe. And the chapter centers around the idea of heroes. And the idea of having many heroes is greater than having a singular hero. Because if you just take the qualities of the person you admire, then you're not accountable for their flaws. Right. So, like, let's say again, let's say your hero was Victor Cruz. I'm just picking a name out of the air.
Who's that?
The receiver for the Giants, the Dance with the Stars guy. You're a little kid and you love Victor Cruz because he dances when he scores touchdowns or whatever. Well, now Victor Cruz comes up.
Could you have said Deion Sanders? We'll pretend that's my hero.
Okay, because it probably is. Okay, let's go with Deion Sanders. I was going to say Victor Cruz because then he had the controversial Trayvon Martin tweet.
Oh, I see where you're going with this.
The premise, what I'm saying is, if Victor Cruz's talent to catch the football is what you admire, or his ability to work out to be the fastest guy on the field that you admire, you're admiring the talent, not the man.
Right.
So when Victor Cruz does a Trayvon Martin tweet, you would say, wow, I'm really disappointed in that. I still admire Victor Cruz's dedication to his craft, which is to catch footballs.
Right.
Whatever. So no matter what it is, because all of us every hero has flaws because they're human beings. So talk about the idea of the diverse people that I admired growing up and that I felt fortunate because I admired traits, not talent. So it enabled me to admire a diverse group of people who are in no way connected. Like, if you're a conservative, you might go, oh, my hero is Ronald Reagan or Rush Limbaugh or whatever. Well, I have liberal heroes. I have conservative heroes. I have, people that had to do with sports, music, whatever. One of my heroes, probably the most unique one, that's not, there are not levels of unique. A unique hero that I had was a guy named Jim Hellwig, who later became the Ultimate Warrior as a wrestler. And Ultimate Warrior was most famous for, he was really the only guy to ever beat Hulk Hogan cleanly in his prime, when the Hulk was the guy.
Okay.
So Warrior was supposed to be the guy that took the throne from Hulk Hogan and was going to run with the belt as Hulk Hogan was.
That's where I was on vacation by Hulk Hogan's house.
Oh, great. Did you get to see the Hulk?
No.
Because I love the Hulk.
I did not see him.
Oh, that's too bad. That's a shame.
I ran down his streets.
Do you know where his house was? Do you know which one was his?
No.
You should have just been shouting,
If I would,
hey, Hulk!
I know what it looks like, so if I would have seen it.
Right.
But anyway.
Let's do it again. Let's take a vacation again down there, and we'll go to Hulk's house.
Let's take a vacation. I see what you did there.
Hey, brother. Anyway, so the Warrior he was supposed to be the guy that was going to carry the mantle from the Hulk when Hulk was getting into doing movies and things like that in the late 80s, early 90s, and was the only guy to ever cleanly beat Hulk Hogan in his prime.
Okay.
So in terms of the wrestling lexicon, and I realize the wrestling lexicon is only important to about 10% of the population. I'm not under the guise that there's, 90% of people are out there watching Monday Night Raw on Monday nights. But there is a sizable group of people that watch professional wrestling, casually or intensely.
Do you know for the home run derby, they give out a wrestling belt to the winner?
See?
Yeah.
See?
Yeah, it's a big W on it.
That's all it says?
It's a big wrestling belt with a W on it.
So, see, what does the W stand for?
I just thought it meant wrestling.
Here's a wrestling belt.
But it's a big old wrestling belt.
Really? Now, you are much more of a sports enthusiast than I am. When did they start doing this? Do you know?
I don't know. I meant to Google it.
Okay.
I'll Google it while you're talking about the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah, pretend like you're listening to me.
I'm always listening.
Anyway, so the Ultimate Warrior was in the wrestling world at one point the peak performer. He had a very short-lived career. He was not around for a long time. And in 1998, he ultimately quit the industry and ended up becoming a conservative thinker. He started reading what he described as the great books of the Western world. He started speaking at colleges to a lot of young Republican groups. He just quit being a wrestler. And he'd made enough money and he'd had good investments, so he did not have to wrestle anymore. So, and one of the reasons he quit was he felt that was when the attitude era, as they described it, was coming in, and he felt that wrestling was taking a turn from being for children to a degenerate turn, and he didn't like that. So anyway, he quit wrestling, became a conservative thinker, and to this day still does a lot of conservative writing and blogging and does all sorts of different events. But anyway, I took a liking to the Ultimate Warrior in my early 20s. I kind of got back into wrestling. I was really into wrestling as a child, and then kind of got back into it as I got into my 20s, mainly because I worked the overnight shift at a radio station, and there was nothing to do. So I just scrolled the internet looking for wrestlers as a kid to see where they were and what they were doing.
Uh-huh.
Did you find the answer?
Well, apparently.
By the way, this answer is for why there is a or no, we're trying to figure out how long they've given out a wrestling belt for the Home Run Derby champion.
No, it was just for last night. Because Adam Jones had it. A replica of it was given to him somehow.
I feel like you're still deciphering at this point. I feel like we jumped the gun.
But he knew that Cespedes, or however you say his name, the guy that won the Home Run Derby.
For Oakland,
is a big fan of wrestling. So he gave him his replica because he knew he would like it. So
that's great.
That's nice.
That's really sweet. You should have just seen the smile on April's face. That may be the biggest, most emotional smile I've ever seen you have.
Well,
it's nice. I'd like to see more of that.
Well, we have a happy Cuban. That makes me happy.
Anyway.
He's living the American dream.
That's right. And he has more money than we will ever dream of.
And a new truck.
Is that what you get if you win the Home Run Derby?
Well, I mean, he gets money and that new truck.
No, they still have the deal where if you win the Home Run Derby, and we will get back to this Ultimate Warrior story here momentarily. If you win the Home Run Derby, is there still some guy out of the audience that wins $1 million if you're, or whatever that was? Didn't that would be the way they do it?
I don't know.
You win a home or something if your guy wins. For some reason, I thought that used to be the way it was. If your guy. I
remember that from last night, though.
Okay, maybe the housing crisis has even hit the Home Run Derby. Anyway,
Ultimate Warrior.
So at one point here was the kicker about Ultimate Warrior. He was from Indiana.
Oh.
I believe it was Crawfordsville was where he grew up. So I sent the Ultimate Warrior an email on his website. This was about 7 or 8 years ago. And said, hey, here's my story, blah, 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 from Indiana. I'm in the radio industry at the time. Thank you for your inspiration. I appreciate you, really being an adult about all this. You're a good guy. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. He wrote me back.
Woo.
It was great. And I, took it, tacked it up on my wall.
Uh-huh.
Actually, the actual email he sent me is in the book. So you can actually see the email. And it was on my wall for years. Anyway, several years went by and kind of kept track of the guy. Actually, April will point out I have a lovely Ultimate Warrior autographed canvas on my wall in the studio.
Lovely. May not be the word for it, but yes, it's definitely there.
Actually autographed by the Warrior.
It is autographed.
Anyway, sent him an email. Some things had gone on. I'd bought my radio station, had started my audio sports online company, had lost a whole bunch of weight with his inspirational stuff. So I sent him an email and said, hey, I don't know if you remember me. You get hundreds of emails, but I'm from Indiana. Your email really inspired me. Here's what I've done. Thank you very much. Blah, blah, blah. Like 15 minutes later, the guy calls me back. Calls me, on the phone.
Wow.
Yeah. And there's a kicker. He sounds just like the character. Yeah, it's like there is no guy.
He sounds just like
yeah, it's like he talks to you like
awesome.
The Ultimate Warrior character. So anyway, the guy talks to me for like an hour.
Wow.
About, like life and, politics and I'm proud of you and blah, blah, blah. And, it's like you're just sitting there picturing this guy. I know you're a human being, but I'm picturing with the face paint, the arm tassels.
You're actually talking to the Ultimate Warrior.
For like an hour.
That's insane.
That was great. Anyway, so, and like you're doing the thing where the guy hates wrestling because he quit.
Right.
So you don't want to do remember when you wrestled Hulk Hogan?
Right, you don't want to just talk about that. Yeah.
But finally I was able to weave a little bit of, wrestling chat just in there. He's like, we can talk about whatever you want. And you're like, okay, I'm going to give it at least 30 minutes before I bring him. Remember when you wrestled Rick Rude in a steel cage and you beat Rick Rude because you tried to tie his arms? Anyway, so then like at the end, he's like, hey, I'm proud of you, call me whenever you want. Here's my phone number, blah, blah, blah. So I talked to him again one time, and that's the only times we ever talked. I've never been that guy that's like,
oh, call him up once a week to chat.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he wants to go grab a burger.
Yeah. My favorite Warrior story was one time, like, his phone was off, and he goes, when he called me the next time, he's like, hey, my phone was broke. I break the buttons on my phone. Like, the guy's hands are so strong.
Oh my gosh.
That, like, he breaks the buttons on his phone. Anyway, so I've never been that guy that was like, because I was like, hey, if he inspired me so much, it's my obligation to let other people be inspired. He's got other people he needs to call and have a pick me up and whatever. Anyway, so the guy kind of disappeared again. He still does stuff on his website, doesn't wrestle, whatever. But in this book, I was able to write this story about meeting the Ultimate Warrior and how inspiring it is. And by the way, it's right next to the chapter about the governor. So it goes from the governor to the Ultimate Warrior. But anyway, yesterday was a huge day because the Ultimate Warrior, and by the way, this is the Rob Kendall Show. That's my name.
By the way.
Joined, as always, by the lovely April D. Gregory, talking about a monumental event in my life. If you're just tuning in, yesterday was a big day. Anyway, yesterday it was announced. Those of us that follow the blogs and the boards kind of knew this was coming, but it was nice. The Ultimate Warrior has resurfaced. He is in the new WWE 2K4 video game, or 2K14 video game. And he is, if you pre-order the game, you can get his character in the game.
Wow.
So he does this big promo for it. Like, he's back. He's in the ring gear, face paint, duster, in full character. Like, this guy's been gone for 15 years, just nothing.
Right.
And there he was. There's my hero.
Can you hurry up? I have so many questions about this to ask you.
Well, okay, but I'm trying to paint the picture for the audience. And it's like those moments where you realize this is ridiculous that I'm this emotional about this. Mm-hmm. But there was almost a moment where a tear formed in my eye. And I'm really glad no one was around, because it's like, this is a guy that's meant a lot to you. He walked away. He was one of your childhood. You loved him as a child. He influenced you as a young adult. And here he is. He's back, and he's sort of like capturing all that magic and energy and everything that you love about Ultimate Warrior. And there he is. And then he does an interview on WWE.com, which is the World Wrestling Entertainment, which him and Vince McMahon, the owner of WWE, have been in court and litigation for years. They do not like each other. WWE even did a DVD called The Self-Destruction of the Ultimate Warrior. WWE kind of upset at Warrior because he left the company several times, etc. So they do not like each other.
Okay.
But now it appears there could be a chance with this game, with this interview, that perhaps the Ultimate Warrior may return to World Wrestling Entertainment.
Wow.
Epic. And here's the thing. Like, these wrestlers, as they get older, Ultimate Warrior is like 53 years old now.
Oh.
So he doesn't have the long hair anymore, but he's still huge.
Well, we can get him a wig.
Yeah, I'm sure that's been broached with him. Here's your John Adams powdered wig. Congratulations. Now run to the ring. No, the point is he's still huge. Like, he's buff. He doesn't look old. I mean, outside the face and his hair, he does. But I mean, he's still like, he stayed in shape. It's like, this is the guy, and he still could be the guy. You feel like he could run out there tomorrow and wrestle Brock Lesnar and still hold his own in the ring. I mean, it's just like, anyway. So I tweet. I get the. I promise this all comes full circle.
I'm waiting.
So I see the video online, the commercial that's out, and I tweet at Ultimate Warrior, and I forget exactly what I said. I was very excited at the moment. Youthful enthusiasm reemerges. Something to the effect of, this made my day. Thanks for coming back. Whatever. 2 minutes later, retweet from the Ultimate Warrior.
Oh my gosh.
And part of me is like, just ecstatic, like running around in circles on the floor.
Okay.
But then part of me is like, well, he called me once. So is a retweet really all that big a deal?
Right. I feel like the phone call is a bigger deal than it's.
But then, like, many people start retweeting me.
Yeah. Well, once that happens.
So I'm kind of like, should I be excited that people I don't know are retweeting me?
Yes, you should absolutely be excited by that.
Because I felt like it was a big deal. So, like, that sort of like, as many people know, there's been a little bit of stress in local government here. I've been under a lot of eventfulness in Brownsburg government. This like made my day. It was like the start to a new week.
Yeah, it was.
Retweeted.
And it was a Monday.
By my hero.
It's gonna be a great week.
Ultimate Warrior. Like
That's amazing.
And I realize you have been retweeted by famous people many times.
But not the Ultimate Warrior.
Not the Ultimate Warrior.
And he never called me on the phone.
Right. And I don't follow a lot of famous people. I'm not a famous follower.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more of just a friend follower. Or April's friend follower. I follow a lot of April's friends. Sometimes I'll scroll through my Twitter. Who are you? Oh, you're April's friend.
Well, you know.
But anyway, that absolutely made my day. There's a whole chapter about the whole thing in the book in immense detail. Path Less Traveled, Amazon.com.
Okay, so here's my question.
Yes, go for it. Lightning round.
Did you send him a copy of the book?
I sent him an email and said, here, I have this copy of this book. This was over the weekend, so all this 2K14 stuff, the video game stuff emerged. Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping that he will get back to me soon.
Okay.
Because I know where to send the stuff to him, but I wanted to let him know it was coming.
Okay.
So he doesn't just get in the mail and go, okay. why do I have this guy's book?
Bam.
Okay.
Next thing I would say is make a tweet about how you have a chapter on @UltimateWarrior.
Right.
In your conversations with @UltimateWarrior in your book.
Right.
Link to where to buy the book. Hopefully, since he'll be tagged in that tweet, he'll retweet that. So all his 100,000 bajillion followers will see that tweet and buy your book to read about your conversations with Ultimate Warrior.
Oh, I feel like this is something you should help me with when we get off the air to craft this tweet.
All right.
Because that seems like a lot of stuff to do.
Since he already knows you vaguely, and he's already...
Yeah.
Plus, this is a way for him to promote himself, too, because he
needs me.
He needs you. He needs this chapter.
You need this chapter in your book. But no, it's like... The whole great thing about wrestling, and I know you think wrestling's a little goofy, and yeah, it probably is. But the thing about wrestling is, I think it's a lot goofy. You're so wrong, Rob. It's timeless. Unlike basketball, hey, Shaq retires, he's not playing basketball anymore. Or Charles Barkley retires and he puts on a lot of weight. The wrestling industry is fairly timeless. I mean...
You can come back at 60, like Hulk did.
The Hulk is still in the ring at 60. Yeah, is it a little over the top? Yeah. Is it kind of crazy that a 60-year-old man still wears bandana and swim trunks everywhere he goes? Yeah, a little bit. But it's still Hulk Hogan.
Right.
And it's still the Hulk Hogan that I saw when I was 8 years old at Market Square Arena.
Yeah.
And Ultimate Warrior is still the same Ultimate Warrior I used to watch on Saturday mornings, with that crazy persona and the wrestling tapes I used to rent as a kid. And there's still a part of you that enables you to be that 8-year-old kid. Mm-hmm. And that's why wrestling is special. So I admit, I kind of thought maybe last night might be the night that Ultimate Warrior comes back to wrestling. And I watched wrestling by myself because I was worried I would weep openly if he emerged from behind the curtain.
Right.
But there was no Ultimate Warrior last night.
Okay.
But I think in the near future, there's going to be the Ultimate Warrior back in the WWE ring. Terribly sorry to our audience. I spent 23 minutes talking about...
Did you really just spend 23 minutes talking about...
23 minutes, yeah.
That is awful. Wake up, people. We're done talking about wrestling now.
I feel like that was a compelling radio, though. I feel like it was a compelling story that people would go, that's kind of interesting. I mean, even if you don't like wrestling.
Well, I mean, I think it's kind of cool that he called you.
Right. Let's just say it was Justin Timberlake instead of the Ultimate Warrior. Or whoever your favorite singer is. Who would your favorite singer be? I'm a little embarrassed. I don't know.
I don't know.
You don't have one?
I don't know.
No? Nothing? Pink?
No.
Lady Gaga?
No.
That's all I got. I'm really running out of these new people.
I don't really have favorites of this kind of stuff.
Right. I know. You walk by yourself. Oh, here's my other favorite thing about Ultimate Warrior on his Twitter account. He follows no one. I was like, how appropriate.
Yeah. So
perfect.
That's so BA.
It's like hundreds of thousands of followers. Follows no one. I was like, yes.
I don't need to.
I would like to get to that point. But then, you send out a tweet, love my fans. Follow no one. Anyway, this is the Rob Kendall Show. It's my name, joined as always by the lovely April D. Gregory, back from vacation. A pleasure to have her back in the circle. Brownsburg was in the news. Those of you who don't know, I am a Brownsburg town councilman, but it was in the news because one of my colleagues has been mentioned about possibly joining the big time.
Ooh, yeah.
Our man,
exciting.
Dwayne Sawyer, was mentioned as a potential candidate to replace Tim Berry for auditor.
Yes, that's exciting.
I got to admit, okay, on two fronts, I feel like now we're in your realm. We're in the political realm here. And this is why this show is great, because we can go from Ultimate Warrior to state politics.
Yeah.
Without missing a beat.
Exactly.
I feel like that's why the audience likes us. Well, they like you because you're beautiful. They tolerate me because I hook up the gear to allow you to espouse your views. Anyway, so Tim Berry has been selected by the .gov, Mike Pence, great human being. By the way, if you buy my book, there's a lovely photo of me and Mike on the back. If you want to see a photo of us together. I got a feeling when he saw the book, when Crabtree showed it to him, when was this taken? Who's this guy?
Stop.
None of this actually happened.
He knows you.
I feel like if he saw me at a Denny's, he would come up and say hi to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's a big step. If someone recognizes you at a Denny's and comes up and says something to you of the governor's importance.
I don't want anybody to recognize me at a Denny's, especially not the governor, because odds are it's 3 a.m.
Can you imagine?
And I'm not sober.
You're sitting at Denny's having
There's only one reason to be in Denny's, and that's if you've been drinking.
You're sitting at Denny's having your moons over my hammy, and Mike Pence walks in. You wonder, has the gov ever been to a Denny's? He seems like a guy that would have hung out at a Denny's.
Oh, surely.
Like on a family vacay.
Yeah, you stop and get. Yeah. I'm sure he's been to Denny's.
There's a lovely Denny's off 74 there in Indianapolis.
Right, in Speedway.
Yeah, Speedway. Anyway, so the gov has to, as said, I would like Barry. I want to say Chuck Berry.
No.
Steve Berry.
Tim
Berry. Do I know a Steve Berry? I don't know where that came from. Just had an absolute mind blank there, but I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
Tim Berry to be the next head of the Indiana Republican Party. Here's the thing. I was just at an event with Holcomb, at the governor's event, where he was talking about all the big things that we're going to do. And then the next thing is like, you're gone. Or not you're gone. He's like, I'm gone. See ya. So, am I supposed to not believe what he said?
Well, I mean, I think probably those things are going to happen.
Right.
Those were general plans the party had, not necessarily Holcomb per se.
We weren't even considered for anything.
What?
Why weren't you and I mentioned?
I don't know.
I mean, I feel like, and there was some sort of YR convention.
I can audit stuff.
Yeah, well, I'm not even saying the YR post. I'm saying something in the like the head of the party. I mean, we've got talent.
Yeah.
We've got ideas.
We can run this ship.
We give ideas every week.
Yeah.
We give more ideas in a week than most people do in a year.
Absolutely.
There was some sort of YR convention too I saw where a bunch of people were becoming officers and things like that. I don't feel like I get invited to anything.
Well, we're not YRs. You have to belong to the YRs.
Oh, this is like a club.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just like because you're young and registered.
No, yeah. This is an actual club of
this means I'd have to go
people.
to like meetings and things. Aha. That's really not
They're
me.
just like once a month.
Yeah, that's not us.
It's not really.
We're not really meeting people.
We're not that establishment party.
Yeah, we're not get up and put on pants sort of people.
Suits.
Yeah. I feel like though we would make it more fun.
Absolutely.
I feel like they'd be like, "Hey, Rob and April are here."
Well, and I did have this discussion with the chair of the YRs.
Oh, you did. So
about how it needs to be more appealing and more fun.
Well, so you went off the reservation without me and took matters into your own hands.
I did.
Okay. Was this recently?
Whenever the elections and stuff were. So about 2 months ago.
Okay. All right. So, okay. Anyway, so Pence picks Berry, who's the auditor, to be the Republican Party chair. I'm a little surprised he did that because auditor is an elected position. Weimer and Holt and I had the conversation last week. To me, I would think being an auditor would be more important, being elected to statewide office, than being the state party chair.
Well, you have so much more influence over the party.
Right.
And as far as politics is concerned, that's the most important thing. The party is there to get Republicans elected.
I simply said on the service, you run for the office, you win. You're a statewide elected office holder. You're one of the fourth or fifth most powerful dude in the state. I don't know. Then the question became, what does the auditor do?
Good question.
And because I'm not being considered for auditor, and I had enough on my plate last week, I didn't really feel the need to delve into what the auditor did. Mm-hmm. I still don't know. Any idea? Audits things? Governor
like
Pence, if the people you've interviewed are not working out, do not listen to this, because I will know if you come and ask me to interview for the auditor what the auditor does by the time I show up. I don't think they audit things. I think they pay bills. Maybe you could get on your phone while we're going through the show.
Maybe I could do that.
And figure out what the
All I know is I think Dwayne would be great at it.
Governor Pence, if you're listening, you have clearly seen our expertise in this field. You have clearly seen that we are knowledgeable in what the auditor does, and our endorsement goes to Dwayne Sawyer. Now, anyway, there were several people mentioned in the Indy Star that could be the new auditor, and that person would serve out the term of Tim Berry and then would have to run for re-election in 2014. Now, the interesting thing about the auditor, much like the state
treasurer, do audit stuff.
They do audit stuff. Okay, what do they do? Do you have a list there? Is there like a checklist?
They audit like local government financial statements.
Okay.
Nonprofit organizations that receive state money.
Okay. April scrolling feverishly through her iPhone, trying to find other job descriptions.
So they have like oversight responsibility for local governments, like school districts.
Oh, I'd been
housing and
perfect for that.
Development authorities, port authorities, which doesn't really apply to us. Probably.
Do we have a port authority in Indiana?
I don't think so.
Okay, so let me just rewind the tape here for a minute. Governor Pence, if you're listening, April and I believe Dwayne would be perfect to audit schools, local government, charities,
counties, cities, and townships.
And
fire pension funds.
Oh, the fire pension funds and the Port Authority. We think Dwayne would do a great job keeping an eye on the Port Authority.
Yes.
Wow, we're terrible. Thank goodness we're not in charge of state government.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yet.
So that is like huge news. It's cool. Like when you read somebody's name in the paper that you know, like, I mean, it's just a name in print. It's like, oh, I know him, you know, and I know the governor. So it's like, I feel like that could be like a harmonious match.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
And I would strongly encourage Dwayne to feel free to use my name in any conversation you have with the governor to secure this position.
Oh, I feel like he'll take a serious pay cut in salary though if he takes this position.
Who, Dwayne?
Yeah.
Well, how much does it pay?
It only pays $66,000.
Well, that'd be a huge pay increase for us.
I'm open. I'm free.
We could cut the pay in half and
call me .gov.
Can you imagine? The first thing I did was cut my pay in half, and I still received a 30% pay increase from the year before.
Oh, that's funny.
The new state auditor, April Gregory, is qualified for low-income housing. So anyway, that's a big deal. I think sometime in July coming up, there's some committee that votes on Tim Berry.
Right.
Yeah.
So they have to do that. Mm-hmm.
And then if he is confirmed, then I guess the .gov will pick a replacement.
Right. So it could be Dwayne.
If Dwayne is in the mix, good for Dwayne. And don't forget the little people.
Chief Financial Officer for the state.
Okay. I wonder if the auditor has an assistant auditor. Because I feel like I could do that. I could be the guy with the stamper that says audited.
Maybe I should be assistant auditor.
You would get it before me because Dwayne likes you better than me.
Everybody likes me better than you.
Well, that's true. Even my own family. Even ex-girlfriends like you better than me. It's tragic. No, legitimately. Some girl I haven't talked to in 6 months, and that's the second thing out of her mouth. How's April?
Weird.
You're the best. That's, ridiculous. It was like, really? After how are you? The next thing is, how's you? Anyway, this is
because we're just like
a team.
Sidekicks.
Yeah.
You can't have one without the other.
Yeah. by the way, not to put any pressure on you, but I have had 2 people in the past week ask when we're getting married.
Oh.
So I don't want to add any pressure. And
interesting.
That if that cute boy you're hanging out with is listening, that did not emanate from me. Which, by the way, when you're tagging other people that you're with on, isn't it called tagging on Twitter? What's it called if you mention the @? What is the @name?
Well, it's just a mention.
Right, but I mean, in Facebook, it's called tagging. Like, I tagged you in a post. And Twitter, what is the Twitter equivalent for tagging?
Mention. It's called mention.
Oh, it's called a mention.
Yeah.
So I got to admit, I get a little jealous when you mention that you're out doing things with other people, and it's not me anymore. So I'm just gonna say.
Well, I mean,
I feel like you're phasing out. I feel like you're phasing into new things. And
I'm
going to
be the one
phasing
you out.
I'm going to get the one that gets phased out. I really feel like that's going to happen.
I'm not phasing you out.
I've had it happen with guys too many times. I can't lose you. Okay.
You won't lose me.
I want you to promise the audience right now.
I promise.
You will never phase me out.
I will never phase you out.
Okay. Got it on tape. And I don't delete these recordings when they're over. By the way, we do want to thank our friends at IndianaTalks.com, the host site for the Rob Kendall Show. Special thanks to Gary Snyder and our friends there. And also Chris Spangle and the We Are Libertarians
Spangle
Radio Network. We love Spangle. By the way, did you see what Spangle's doing on Facebook? He's posting photos of himself from the 9th and 10th grade.
When he was affectionately known as Spanky. I have a friend that went to high school with him.
You know who he looks like? You remember the Home Alone movies?
Yeah.
The older brother?
Yes!
He's Buzz.
He's Buzz. Minus the Buzz.
Minus the Buzz. Spangle looks like Buzz. I feel like Spangle looks like the sort of guy I would have been friends with.
He looks like he was a nice guy.
Is he our age?
He was nice. Yeah.
Is he? Okay, so he was rocking.
I think he's younger than me. He might be younger than you, too.
Really?
I think
so. And he was like the head of the Libertarian Party.
Yeah.
Wow. That's impressive. Good job, Spangle.
And we can't even become head of the Republican Party.
We can't even get in the door.
Well, we can. But they don't want us
when
there.
We get
we
there,
don't really want to be
looks.
there.
We get looks.
Who let the crazy in?
We get looks like, they have name tags. Who do we have to fire that let those guys in? So anyway, thank you to Chris and thank you to Gary and thank you to all of our friends that listen to the Rob Kendall Show. We certainly do appreciate that. Don't forget the show is podcast both on the IndianaTalks.com website as well as the We Are Libertarians website. I believe they get them up the next day or day after. So we certainly do appreciate that and all that you do for the Rob Kendall Show, mainly the futures of me and April. Mainly. You know who is a fan of yours?
Who?
Hammer and Nigel.
Yeah, those are my guys.
They like you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're.
I like them.
They're big fans. I'm supposed to be going down there Thursday to do the Hammer and Nigel.
Are you going to do the show?
Yeah. So.
Oh, dang! I have to work.
And they asked about you, so they are fans of yours. They have a name for it. April D is what they call you.
April D.
So they are fans. I just thought I'd relay that.
I've done the show a couple times.
Yeah, great guys. Yeah. Nigel. Is a friend, and
we went to the same high school. He and I.
Yeah, that's right. He's a Tri-Wester.
Yeah.
Yeah, and an affluent Tri-Wester. And Hammer, and I told Hammer this. I don't know. I think he may remember it now. Hammer used to work at ZPL.
Right.
When I was the producer for the Indians, and that was at X&T, which was right down the hall. Mm-hmm. And I used to go down there and talk to Hammer. And this is when I was much younger, more beautiful, because they had earrings back then.
Oh, yeah.
So you may not. By the way, I put them in today, so I got a little scar on the side of my ear.
I was just noticing your, yeah.
That's why I only put them in every so often, just to make
sure the hole stays.
Yeah.
In case someday the earring fad comes back when you're 50.
People ask me, they say, "Why do you keep doing that?" I said, "Because I put a lot of effort into my life having earrings, and I don't want to let them go, but I can't wear my earrings anymore." Because they're politically, you can't wear earrings at a government meeting.
Well, I feel like you wouldn't wear it anyway, right?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay.
No, but I was
just making sure.
So, I mean, I literally have not worn my earrings actively probably 4 or 5 years.
Right.
But I'm not ready to let that part of my life go.
Well, it's like I still have my belly button pierced.
Really?
Yeah. At what point do you take that out? I don't know.
Right. I didn't know that.
You didn't know I have my belly button?
How did I not? No, I knew that. Never mind.
I got it done on my 18th birthday.
Yeah, no, I knew that. Yeah, I knew it. I knew it.
Okay.
Anyway, so but anyway, I knew Hammer at one point, and I think he remembers me. We used to go down there and talk to those guys. I was like 19 or 20 years old when I was doing that for the Indians. And so that was a good part of my life. Anyway, that didn't really go anywhere, but I just felt you should know that because.
So who is going to be on the show with you on Thursday?
Some football player for the Colts. I think he's like the focused guy, and they just said, "Hey, if you want to come down, hang out with us, be on the air.
Okay,
it'll be fun."
Cool.
So sure,
sounds like fun. It's fun time.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, speaking of Indians, I went to an Indians game. Indianapolis Indians are major league or a minor league affiliate for the Pittsburgh Pirates, AAA.
Currently in 15 games ahead in first place.
Yeah, they're killing everyone.
Maybe it's 16 by now.
I went to the Indians game. We have a beautiful stadium downtown, Victory Field, if you've never been there. Major league quality stadium. A little small for a major league stadium, but major league quality from the standpoint of what is up there. Anyway, went to the game, and our seats were front row, right behind the visitor bullpen.
Ooh.
So I said, all right, that's it. I am on these guys.
It is your job to get them mentally off their game.
Yeah. And when you go to a ball game because you're a sports enthusiast and you have good seats, you're either going to get lucky and get players that'll play along with you, or you're going to get guys that just hate you. Yeah. And you're driving them crazy.
Yeah, you're really pissed them
off. Or
off.
that'll just ignore you. The best ones are the ones, it's either guys that'll play along with you or the guy that you're really getting under his skin and won't respond.
Yeah.
The worst is the ones that just don't care, because then you're just wasting your time. Anyway, so we get on, sit down. The way the game worked is they had to complete a previous game because it had been stopped due to inclement weather.
Mm-hmm.
So we got like a game and a half. So I sit down during the first game. I'm working on him. I'm giving it to him. The guy's kind of giving it back to me. It's like, all right. And then I think at some point this guy...
Is this a pitcher?
No, he was the bullpen catcher.
Oh.
Yeah. I didn't realize he was the bullpen catcher until he actually got up to warm somebody up. But he had a uniform on. So I was like, this is my guy. This is the guy I'm working on. It was the Columbus Clippers they were playing.
Well, it's a good thing you got the bullpen catcher off his game.
But I didn't know he was the bullpen catcher until a while because he had to get up and warm somebody up. He had his uniform on. Mm-hmm. So you don't know, until they strap the shin guards on and sit down and catch the ball. Anyway, by the way, I'm going to say this complimentary. Columbus Clippers, great bullpen. Classy guys. Really a lot of fun to be with, and I appreciate those guys making my experience better because they were great. Anyway, so I think at some point the guy realized, wow, this guy is, while fun, going to get a bit annoying here tonight.
He is not going to quit.
So at some point, I think he became convinced that if he gave me a souvenir, I would shut up, which was the case. And he tosses me the ball. It was like the Joe Green jersey moment. Uh-huh. Hey, kid. Catch, even though the guy was probably younger than me. He was in AAA baseball. And I caught the ball. So I have a Columbus Clippers game-used bullpen ball.
That's exciting.
Then my friend Shane Dunnigan, who I went to the game with, who was on the redevelopment commission with me here in Brownsburg, an actual foul ball came towards us. Shane leaps over the railing, holds his feet still in the seating area. Uh-huh. Body on the field, so he's not on the field. Couldn't kick him out. He didn't violate. I'm not on the field.
Right.
Swipes an actual foul ball.
Wow.
So we both.
It was like going down.
It was going down the way.
Like in the grass, or
no? It was on the fence, like on the wall. We were on the wall, and a little foul ball.
The ball was on the wall.
It was trickling down the wall.
Oh.
Just outside of the wall, by the bullpen. So it was right next to where we were. Here's the thing, that had happened a few moments earlier. And Shane was going to get the ball. Because I was like, I'll let you take it, Shane. I already got my souvenir, Mm-hmm. Shane was getting ready to get the ball. The guy sitting in front of us takes his scorecard, sticks it out to stop the ball. And we were like, that's cheating.
Yeah.
You got to grab it with your hand or a glove.
Yeah.
You can't be using props to score a foul ball. So we were really distraught.
Or your cup of beer.
Right.
You can catch
if
it
you're
with
willing to sacrifice an $8 beer for a foul ball, you deserve the ball. Anyway, so we both walked out of there with souvenirs. What are the odds of...
Slim to none.
Yeah. And then we got into it with a couple of girls in the pro shop.
Ooh.
Yeah, one... they were very... April has been around me enough to know when I go in places, I just cause a scene sometimes. Mm-hmm. Not like cause a scene like everybody's fearful for their safety.
But have fun.
Yeah, we talk very loud, and I will engage in conversation with employees in the store.
Yeah.
Nothing inappropriate. Just It's weird that people actually want to talk to the employees in the store.
Right.
And this one girl, very, very pretty girl, actually admitted that. She goes, man, you're the first guys to talk to us today. So she's really having fun. Mm-hmm. The other girl in the pro shop, she doesn't really want to be there. And she didn't have so much fun. But the one girl had a great time.
Well, that's good. You made somebody have a great day.
It's amazing how much information people will volunteer about themselves to total strangers.
Oh, wow.
I mean, you feel like, I'm a pretty non-threatening guy. I clearly don't have a wedding ring on, so I must be at least single as in not married. So I think and I appear pretty
So did you get her number?
I did not, because the other girl was so look of death on her face.
Really?
Yeah, that I figured.
Maybe you should go back another time.
I think I'm going to go back to another Indians game. Yeah, just get this girl's phone number.
Yeah.
Hey, girl, if you're the girl that works in the Indians Pro Shop, or you know the girl that works in the Indianapolis Indians Pro Shop, the dark-haired girl, not the blonde one, you tell them Rob's coming back and have that phone number ready. Can you imagine?
Oh, my gosh.
Can you imagine?
I feel like this was a Close Encounters personal ad just now.
Can you imagine if you showed up like 2 weeks later and like, hey, I didn't get your number last time. Number for what? Remember we talked. When? At the Indians game.
Well, you just need to go back in. Don't say that. Just go in and be your crazy self.
That's true, but what if she's not working?
Well, then you gotta go back to another game. Indians games are fun.
We should go to an Indians game.
We could, but I can't be with you when you're trying to get this girl's phone number because I'll be
You're my wingman.
You. No, she'll think I'm your girlfriend, maybe.
Well, we could clarify. I could just go.
I'll bring Cute Boy.
Well, then I'm a third wheel.
You can bring Shane.
Well, okay. We love Shane. Shane's great. I bet Shane would go for that. Okay.
Well.
Let's do it.
Okay.
And I'll get to meet Cute Boy. And I'll get to treat him the way you've treated the girls that I hang out with. Oh, welcome to the party.
Well,
I don't feel like
he doesn't act like the guy.
I don't feel like guys you hang out with will be petrified of me as the girls I hang out with are petrified of you.
I feel like that's probably the case.
Yeah.
But they shouldn't have a reason to be petrified. Those girls should have a reason to be petrified of me.
You should have seen the intensity on April's face. Her eyes just got really big, and she just shot up.
I'm very protective.
You are. You're a mama bear, and I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
How's it going with Cute Boy, by the way? You guys doing good?
Yeah.
So you went to for it was interesting. I didn't know what Cute Boy looked like until the other day, and then I saw he was tagged in a post, and I thought, wait a second. And then I saw what he kind of did for a job, and I went to his profile, and oh, this is the guy.
Uh-huh.
So now I know who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like in our friendship, I'm very open about my social behaviors to you, but I feel like you're very closed with your social behaviors to me.
Well, I'm like that to everybody.
But I feel like I'm more than everybody.
You are, but
yeah,
I just don't like talking.
I understand.
I don't like talking about my personal self.
I understand. But it's
not you.
We're like soulmates, so I really feel like I should know. I will be at your wedding.
Yeah, of course. We'll talk about it after the show.
Okay, got it. I just got the hate look, which means shut up and move on. So I'm parlaying, or not parlaying. What's the word? Transitioning into the next topic. About 3 minutes to go on the show. Oh, it wouldn't be sufficient if we didn't have a Zimmerman conversation. I mean, I really feel like we haven't Zimmermaned everyone to death.
I got nothing.
You
I'm over it.
Here is all I'm going to say about it, because like I said, I just feel like there hasn't been a lot of rational Zimmerman conversation.
No, there's been about zero rational conversation.
No matter who you are. And here's what I posted on Facebook, and it's amazing things you'll get the most likes on. Sometimes I'll put things up and think, oh, people are going to love this, and I get like 2 likes. And then sometimes I put things up that are just a throwaway, and like 100 people like it. Mm-hmm. And this was one of those that was just kind of a throwaway, and people liked it. I said, look, here is a non-emotional, high-level observation. The standard for conviction in this country is guilt beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yep.
It's not whether the jury thinks you're innocent. It's not whether they think you actually did it. Think being the key word. It's evidence beyond a reasonable doubt that you committed whatever the crime is. So in the Zimmerman case, you might not think he's innocent. You might think he's innocent. We're not deciding that. You might think he acted irresponsibly. You might think he acted inappropriately. You might think he has some level of blame in the death of Trayvon Martin. Those are all rational things, whether I agree with them or not, that I could see people coming to those conclusions. Mm-hmm. The 911 operator tells you not to follow him, he follows him. Whether you think that's right or not, whatever. What I'm saying is, all of those things are rational.
Actually, that 911 dispatcher testified, and that is not what happened.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But anyway.
let's pretend it did for the sake of my argument, because I think we agree on this. So I'm trying to make a point.
Okay.
Whatever that is, the burden of proof is not whether I believe there is some level of blame or some level of inappropriateness or some level of responsibility. It is, are you guilty of that charge beyond a reasonable doubt? And I don't think that there is any rational person who could look at all the evidence, as the jury did. And by the way, kudos to the jury for taking 16 hours on this.
Yeah.
I mean, I am what I call a Nancy Grace viewer. And by the way, I really am angry at Nancy Grace on this. She really let me down. But I tried to watch every night at least 15 to 20 minutes to get the highlights of the case. And I'm going to tell you, from my perspective, getting just the highlights, and I watched sides that thought he was guilty and innocent, tried to get it's pretty obvious Nancy Grace wanted him convicted, but most of her guests did not.
Mm-hmm.
And I was left going, there's no way I could convict this guy just based on the highlights, much less the jury who heard all the evidence for weeks.
Right.
And it would not have taken me 16 hours to come to that conclusion, but you really feel like the jury did its job, which was carefully went through all the evidence, because they said, whether we think he's guilty or not, whatever we come up with, we need the public to know we did our job. This is not OJ, where it was 2 hours.
Right.
So I really feel like that prosecutor and the officials in Florida really need to be examined for even bringing this case. I feel like the legal system worked. And I think that's good.
Right. Absolutely.
Good job of staying
That's
out of
matters.
this one. Nice job. You have no opinion? Nothing?
No, I mean, I agree with you.
Okay. That's good enough for me. So that was our Trayvon Martin discussion. I felt like
statement.
I feel like life would have been incomplete if we didn't have at least some sort of pinpointed Trayvon Martin something. Not to spend the whole show like some people probably did.
We don't talk about this ever again.
No, I'm done with
Hopefully.
it. I'm out of it, and unless
of course,
they bring federal charges. If they do, Limbaugh said this for a while. Limbaugh said something will happen to Obama that will be the end of Obama, that won't have anything to do with Obama. Like it won't be something he tried to do. It'll be something he said to someone or something. If they bring federal charges against this guy, even it's Holder doing it, I think that'll be the end of Obama.
You think so?
Yeah, absolutely. That's my high level thought.
I think I don't remember what the situation was, but when the whole Trayvon Martin thing came up and the president jumped in, it was a created media frenzy because something else that was going on, the president was trying to sidetrack the nation from.
Right.
So that's how the president got involved in the first place. There was something else going on he had to hide from.
Right. And there is the sad thing is, it's like everything has to be about race, and at the end of the day, George Zimmerman, if you actually look at the facts, has a history of helping African-American people. I think he took one to his prom, even. Mm-hmm. The guy clearly is not a racist.
No.
And
he's not white. He's Hispanic.
Right. But that's all irrelevant. Whether the guy's white, black, Indian, whether the victim is
right.
Red,
people
yellow,
are
black,
just
white.
saying, oh, he's black or he's white. Blah, blah, blah.
He had reasonable suspicion as someone that was in charge of helping protect his neighborhood. He had a reasonable suspicion that a person he saw could be attempting to do harm to others. And I feel like if he had been convicted, that would limit people's willingness to step out on a ledge and say, I care about my neighborhood. I'm willing to stand up for my neighborhood. And tragically, in this case, it meant someone lost their life. Mm-hmm. But we need people to be these neighborhood watch people. We need people to donate their time to help keep everyone else safe. Mm-hmm. Because the bottom line is, whether you live in Brownsburg or Indianapolis or New York, police can't be everywhere, no matter what community you live in.
Right.
And we need people actively taking an interest in their neighbors.
Right.
Minute to go. Anyone you want to say hi to? Say good job to? Nothing?
No.
You're just like the ultimate warrior. I follow no one. I want to thank, obviously Merlin Yoda. I love Merlin.
Name.
He's like my favorite Twitter person now. I love it. Just the mystique, the Merlin Yoda mystique.
Yeah.
I feel like we need to get him on the show at some point. As long as he looks like the guy in the Merlin Yoda photo. If he dresses like that, Merlin, we will have you on the show.
That's funny.
All right, so that is going to do it for us this week. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Don't forget, the show will also be podcasted on IndianaTalks.com, as well as as the We Are Libertarians radio network. For the lovely April D. Gregory, I'm Rob Kendall saying you've been listening to The Rob Kendall Show.